I want to ask you, do you think that certain guys have it? Do you believe in an it factor?
Yeah, I believe in it.
So tell me a little bit about how long it takes to see if a guy has it. How many situations does he have to be in where you go, oh, he's not only talented, everybody up here can play.
Yeah.
He might have a little something extra.
Well, usually it takes a kid that's not a Robin Yount, a Dave Winfield, a Paul Molitor. You know, those guys, they came right from where they came and they went to the big leagues. That's it. But as far as a young minor league player, in today's game, we actually don't give those guys a chance to find out what it's like to fail.
Right.
Because if they're successful somewhere, they move. In our era, when you were successful, you had to prove you could do it at the next point.
Right.
And then you had to prove you could do it at the next point.
And they're always drafting somebody to replace you.
Always.
Always.
So you always had to prove it.
Okay.
So, you know, you look at a Ronald Acuna. When we first saw him, when he first came to camp the first time, it was my first year here in 17, and everybody talked about how great he was. But his first big league camp, he wasn't so great. See what I'm saying? But you could see he got it. You could see it. You could see the burst of speed. You could see the power. You understand what I'm saying? You could see the athletic ability. What was missing was he had some mindset, but it wasn't complete. And you could see that. But the next time he came around, you saw it. You saw everything that everyone said the kid was. Ozzie Albies. When I arrived in 17, he had an operation. And everybody was telling me how this kid is, his attitude, this, that, and other. And so when I met him, he and I, my first spring training, spent a lot of time together. And I began to see what they were talking about. He got it. Raleigh. They say, man, this guy is special. He could do this, he could do that. And he always did this the second time around. And sure enough, every time Raleigh came around the second time, it was everything that people said he was. So, I mean, those are special kids. Dansby, you know, he's so educated. He's so smart. He's so intelligent. He's aware of everything. He studies the game. He's a leader. I mean, true leader. You know what I'm saying? And he never panics. He never panics.
Great trait.
Great trait. And that comes from his upbringing. That comes from his youth. That comes from his mom and dad and brothers and sisters, the people he was around when he got here. And that's what happens to us. The people that we are around that help mold us, they really follow us where we go. And we got an example of everyone that ever made a difference in your life. We all have that. You have that.
And it's called energy vampires. You can't have people around who are pulling energy out of a room.
No.
You know, I tell my kids, find people who fill your tank. So to pull the it out of somebody, to make it a consistent thing, you better have the right people around you.
You got to have the right people around you, and you got to have, first thing you got to have around those kind of people to pull the it out of you. They have to have love. And I don't mean love, kissing, and all that stuff. I'm talking about caring. Because there's an old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's a true saying. You can pull anything out of anyone if they know you care. If they know you care. And once again, that's a trait I had when I left home.
Being invested.
Being invested, totally. Through good times and through bad times.
Well, there's the character.
And through the bad times, all I want you to do is work. All I want you to do is put in what it's gonna take for you to get out of the bad times. And once you start to figuring it out, then I can start sharing those bad times, and we'll take those bad times and pass it around to your teammates, and now you're carrying a lighter load. And then all of a sudden you get your act together and we can come back and give it to you, and what you go do? Go dump it in the can. It's gone.
It's over.
Yeah.
Do you believe in clutch? Do you think some guys are more clutch? It's like one of these sort of arguments I think that people have.
There is such a thing as clutch.
Okay.
I believe some guys no matter what sport you're in, there is some guys that no matter how big the situation is, they don't change. That's how you become clutch, by not changing. When you change what the situation say you are supposed to do, when you try to change that situation, that's when failure happens. But when you embrace the situation and you got a plan and you do what you're supposed to do, you come up clutch.
In this game, I want the at-bat. I want the ball hit to me. I don't care. There's bunting. It's October. To me, it's like a Tuesday night in June, but bigger, and I'm ready for it.
But what I try to explain to these guys is, don't just use the words. I want to do this. I want to be in that situation. And then when you get in that situation, you tank. You see what I'm saying? And that's because you want to do it, but did you prepare yourself so when that happened, you can just walk into it like it's normal? And if he make a mistake, you got him. If he don't make a mistake, you come on back. But too many people put too much pressure on themselves because, number one, sometimes the situation only take a base hit. And a lot of times they thinking about,
there.
Yeah, because that's glorifying.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But all this situation need is a single. And in my opinion, anyone that's playing Major League Baseball or playing pro ball should be able to get a single. Now, you might not hit the double, you might not hit the triple, you might not hit the bomb, but I can get a single.
Yeah. More guys hit more singles than home runs. Play the game.
Play the game.
Play the game.
And when you try to do the right thing, that's when big things happen. When you try to create big things, nothing happens.
And I do believe that you see guys step up, but I think there are some guys who get tight.
There are some guys that get tight because they're not looking at what it takes in this situation.
Right.
All it takes, like I said, if it takes a bomb in this situation and you're not a home run hitter, why would you be trying to hit a home run?
Right.
Then you got to keep the line moving. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to keep the line moving until we get one of those guys to the plate that's his job. He goes deep.
Well, the other thing that happens too is I think clutch guys, but I also think guys who maybe get tight, you don't know yourself, or you're not honest with yourself in a moment that's bigger than a Tuesday night in June. All of a sudden you forget either what got you here or who you are. And I do think that's a sign. I don't like the word choke very often. I tell guys in my business, we throw it around too much.
It's insecurity.
Okay.
It's insecurity. Because if you secure, you're going to walk up there the same way it was your first at-bat, even though it's a situation where if you come through, the team can be successful.
Right.
But if you can walk up there the same way you walked up there at your first at-bat, more times than not, you're going to be successful. I don't want to call myself a guru, but I'm pretty good at what I do. Pretty darn good at what I do. Eric Chavez gave me my first Gold Glove.